Okay, let's get back into the edit field portion. Okay, we've already gone through the type parameters. Now we'll fall on through to the various other fields that we need to fill out. Name parameter, basically that's the name of the field. Okay, this will actually be converted to a lowercase so that it doesn't matter what you put in, it'll set it and strip off any blank characters and things such as that. We'll just call this new field tab, and you see what it did. It said add underscore new field. That's the name. Once you set that, you don't want to mess with it. Okay, now here's where you put in the actual title of the field. We'll just call it title for field. Okay, do you want to display the title? Tell it no, or display in detail mode only, or in list mode, or in both. Okay, you can, let's just say we're going to only display it in detail mode. Description. Here is where you can add in the description, and basically what this will be is just a tooltip to the right of the uh, data entry field so that an individual can position their mouse over it and they'll be able to, like in this case, do you accept MasterCard, okay, or under Marcus sold. A little tip to help the person placing an ad to be able to more easily understand what the field requires. Okay, required. Is this a required field? Yes or no? Obviously. Just if you have a field that, depending on the category you're going to be running it in, let's say for automobiles, if you're setting this for a model, then yes, you definitely want to require that that information be entered. Okay. Okay. Next item, list column display. Okay. This has to do with the list columns up here. If we select one of these values, let's say we want to place this new field. We're going to put it in the city column, and we'll put it in the column list order, and we'll give it a number. Sometimes it's easier to go to list columns, and here you have a good representation of what you've got where, like in the image field. These three items under content, it just has the headline and text. Price just has the price and condition, etc. If we scroll down, we can see the actual content itself. This is how it's going to appear on the in the displayed listing. And here's the listings. And here you've got the image column, add headline and description, etc. Price, city, state, and date as they're set up. Here, this one here actually shows the dealer underneath the image. As you could, when you looked over here, that's what it indicates. The trade type would come up under image. Marcus sold would come up above the image. Okay, so let's get back to our fields list. We shouldn't do that. Okay, so those two fields, the list column and the detailed display, again, that ends up being the same. So you can position this field pretty much anywhere you want when you're putting it in the listing field or the detailed display. And you can set the order here. And when you go to the list columns or detailed positions, you'll be able to see what order it's falling in and then come back and rearrange this. Okay, once you have these things set, then you're rarely going to be changing them. Okay, next item would be place a new line break before the field or place a new line break after the field. Just say yes or no. And that's basically to allow you to be able to better display this information. Let's say in the case of the address field, I have it set up so that the city, it does not have a break afterwards. The state does not have a break afterwards, and the zip code will appear after this also. That's so that you can position these fields side by side rather than just strictly one above the other. Okay, The next item, of course, is it published. If you want to set the field aside and not use it for now, just leave it at no. Otherwise, set it to yes. Is this field going to be a searchable field? Fields such as city, state, uh, ad title, things such as that, maybe sale dates, etc. You want to set those up as searchable. If not, then just leave it at no. Same thing for editable. Uh, if you don't set it to editable, then it'll appear, but it'll never allow anybody to change anything. Okay. Okay, this next field is item fee. Basically, if the individual wants to place an item on the item that they place a fee on the item that they're trying to sell, $5, $10, 50, whatever. This is where they would enter that information so that then when it displays on the this main detailed display, and this is the information that would display. Okay. Restrict viewing this field to certain user groups. Basically, you have the ability to only allow, let's say, registered users to see this, or depending on the levels that are set up in your particular site, they can set it up to allow authors or editors or publishers, etc., so that certain fields can be restricted from view to many users. Okay, and then we also have viewing this field as exclusive to a certain group. This is so that if we only want to allow registered users only, that means that public and guests can't see it. Authors, editors, publishers, they won't be able to see it either. Okay, and the reason for that is it's not so much for registered, but let's say in the case of for authors only other authors will be able to see it. Things such as that. And then also restrict posting this field to certain user groups. Again, this is to prevent people from posting this information unless they are registered or they're authors or editors, etc., depending on your membership levels. Okay, and again, another field is to allow this field to be exclusive to a certain user group. Okay, this next item uses a profile field. If you say yes, then basically this field will be included in either the built-in profile field that the classified Redux system has, or if they're using a social network product like Community Builder or Joom Social, they'll actually be able to select something, because in this case, neither one is loaded up on this site. It can't be used. But if it was set up, then you'd set that to yes, and then when you select a drop-down, you'd see a whole list of available fields so that this can be used when it's being used to fill in pre-fill information for posting an ad. Okay. This ad can be sorted by this field. Basically, again, that's similar to the editable, or rather searchable field, in that you can allow this to be resorted when they're looking at a listing. In this case here, let's go back and do a list all ads real quickly. Here we have a sort by field at the top of the listings. We can change this. Basically, I've got it set up so that city is sortable, state is sortable, and price is sortable, in addition to date created, which is set up as the primary field when the listings are displayed, so that they're all coming out in date in a descending sequence. Okay, and as far as searchable is concerned, this is where the information would fall in for searchable fields at the advanced search. I have city set up as a searchable field, state, add headline, add description, and price. And you can enter in a range for price. so that then when somebody's looking for something specific, they can enter the information in. They can indicate whether or not they want to map it or match any or all values. Sorry about that. Okay, so here, can this field be sorted? Yes or no? And if you say yes, then you want to set the sort direction, either ascending or descending. Okay, and the size is basically set to indicate what is the size of the input field. All right, and then the last item is category. You can select what categories you want a particular field to be in. Let's say if in the case where you have a file, paid file, shall we say, but that can only be shown in something, let's say, books and magazines, so that if somebody is uploading an ebook that they want to sell, they can turn around and set a price for that and just set it so that it's only in books and magazines. That's the only time that they're entering a new ad that this field would show up is in there. And that's the purpose of that. And you can set it up so that, let's say, in the case of things you're going to be selling vehicles, you can set it up so that only certain items will show up for vehicles, such as the option selection for the radio buttons I had, checkbox buttons that I had set up for the radio, air conditioning, etc. And that will only appear for vehicles. It'll never appear when they're viewing real estate, merchandise, or anything else. And the same thing in the case of real estate. For real estate, you're going to want to have certain information such as room sizes that can be set up, 2-car garage, 1-car garage, etc. You can set it up so that it's only in real estate and never appears for any of these others. Okay, so that pretty much ends our discussion on the field edit. Go on to list columns and let's learn some more.